We often think about the spiritual journey as the journey from the head to the heart. Although when I set out my spiritual journey, I just wanted less pain, less suffering. And that's still the case today, really. I still think that's the genuine spiritual journey. If you're entering a spiritual journey to, I just want to feel happier and I want to connect with, I don't know, guardians or angels, or you want to connect with something outside of yourself, then I don't think it's, I can't say it's not genuine, but it's not the one that will lead you to less suffering. It's not the one that will open your heart. It'll just build more of this alter ego than what you have. But I do want to address the situation of the journey from the head to the heart. And for many years now, I've said the spiritual journey is the one from the head to the heart. And I want to update that. I want to change that. I want to renew it for a new insight that I've had on a silent retreat recently. I'm Steven Webb, and I'm your host of Stillness in the Storms, and welcome to the podcast. And yeah, it's coming to the end of 2021. What an amazing year. Or is it 2020? 2020, isn't it? Yeah, that's how fast this year has gone. But yeah, that journey from the head to the heart, I want to talk about that. You know, if we take a deep breath now and we're in our heads, now we're thinking, I'm doing this podcast and a thought's coming up and I'm saying it and it's recording and it'll go into editing and things like that. Because I don't normally, I should do it. I should write out my podcast and then go with the script. But I don't normally. I get an idea in my head and I just turn on the recording software and I just start talking. So that's why it probably goes everywhere, all around my mind. But that's where essentially most of thoughts come from, in the head. And when we go on a spiritual journey, we want more quietness, calmness. We want more heart, more compassion. And of course, we get those from the body. So that's why we say a journey from the head to the body. We start living in the body a little more. But the thing is, we try to go to the body and disconnect from the head. And that's what I tried to do for ages. Just close down the mind, less thinking, no thoughts. I just want to, just breathe. And of course, the more I meditate and the more I do it, the more I can go to the body, the more I can include the body in this moment. Because most of the time, the only thing that's present in this moment is my mind. You know, what I can see, what I can hear, what I can think about. It's not what I'm feeling most of the time. You know, we go to the body to what we're feeling when the feelings become overwhelming. So we end up trying to live from our bodies, live from our hearts. And that makes perfect sense. It feels more calmer. It feels nicer. It's more pleasant. Just taking a deep breath and approaching life from, this place of, you know exactly what I mean. Just by slowing down, it just feels more pleasant. But the thing is, we're trying to take away our minds. We're trying to take away our thoughts. We're trying to stop them being part of it. Whereas really, the spiritual journey is move from the head to the heart and then include the head. That's probably the best way of explaining it. Because here's the thing. If you're okay with your thoughts, I've just had a thought. That was a crazy thought. I can ignore it. Or I've just had a thought. That was a lovely thought. Instead of, I've got to get rid of these thoughts. I've got to stop them. So we have thoughts. We don't have to do anything with them. And we have feelings and we don't have to do anything with them. So when we start approaching life from a place of where the pressure on the outside world equals the pressure on the inside, and the thoughts equal the pressure of the feeling. So you haven't got one that's overpowering the other. So instead of being thoughts all day and anger and things like that, instead of being an emotional day, we're a mix of all of them, and it's a balance. a balance between each one of them. And I think that's the real journey. That's the place you want to get to, where you can accept your thoughts and you're friends with your thoughts, you're friends with your ego, and you accept your feelings. Oh, I'm feeling lonely. That's okay. Oh, I'm angry. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm exhausted. I've got all these different feelings coming up, and they're okay. I don't need to do anything with them. I've got a desire to have more of a deeper spiritual insight. That's fine. I don't have to do anything with it. Oh, I've just got a thought that person, that person's an idiot, say perhaps. And, that judgment, because the mind judges. I'm not saying that's okay, but discernment is perfect. We need to be discerned sometimes. We need to have some kind of judgment that, is that person good for me? Is that person bad for me? Is jumping off this thing going to hurt me? We need to judge in some way. But when we're judging all the time, or when we're judging on what we think is right and wrong in the way of opinions and all, that's a little bit different. But I told you I don't script it. So I go off track a little bit. But that's what we see thoughts as. We see thoughts as something bad. And they're not. Thoughts are not bad. They're just thoughts. Feelings are not bad. They're just feelings. Just like when your heart beats, what is that? It's a heartbeat. It's not a good one or a bad one. When your other bodily things do what they do, they're not a good or a bad one. Well, perhaps they can be, but that's a whole different story. But you know what I mean? It's doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah, we don't judge our heartbeat. We don't judge what the body's doing all the time. We shouldn't judge our thoughts. We should just be okay with them. And then when we find the balance between the mind and the thinking and the heart and the feeling and the body and the functions and all that, we're suddenly, I'm at peace with it. So much easier. So much lighter. Does that make sense? So yes, by all means, go on the journey from the head to the heart. Open your heart, feel things deeper. That's what the spiritual journey is. It's not about getting rid of pain. It's about feeling things deeper. It's about going to your body a lot more often. And then when you've conquered going to your body, reintroduce the head, reintroduce the thoughts, and become complete, become more whole, and then integrate your shadows, and then integrate, and it's a never-ending journey. And this is why the spiritual journey, whatever you want to call it, the growing up, the waking up, just becoming more whole, whatever you want to call it, it's a lifetime journey, and you're right where you're supposed to be. You're where you are right now, and there's nowhere else you can be. Be okay with that. Be okay with that while working towards including more. Take care, guys. And I'm Steven Webb, the host of this Stillness in the Storms. And head over to my website, Steven Webb, and you can download some stuff. You can book a free coffee with me. Book a coffee. I like to get to know my listeners more. And if you're going to share this or give me a review, you are awesome. Thank you. And I'm deeply grateful to you for helping me spread a little more stillness when we need it most. Take care, and thank you for the support all this year. Namaste. Love you guys.